OK, welcome to the show, Bjork. Now, we've got your music box there, and I gather you're going to sing for us straight away. So I've been entrusted with the microphone to hand to you. That's the baton. Okay. What are you going to do for us? What are you going to perform for us?
It's a song called Coccon, and I've got 3 music boxes now.
OK.
So this is the medium-sized one.
That's the medium-sized music box?
Medium-sized one. I've got a tiny one for the lap.
OK.
And a big double-decker.
And a big double... What, two?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I'm
DJing with music boxes.
Working on some scratches.
OK. Can you scratch with them? Can you...
No. Yeah. I should practice that.
You should practice?
Yeah.
OK.
I'll work on it.
Do I have to press a button? No, you can do that.
Yep.
OK, here we go.
Restoring my blisses. Who would have known a beauty this immense? Who would have known a saintly trance? Who would have known miraculous breath to inhale a beard loaded with courage? Who would have known that a boy like him would have entered me lightly, restoring my blisses? Who would have known that a boy like him would have entered me lightly, restoring my blisses?
That was Cuckoo from Bjork's latest album, Vespertine. What is the kind of the musical world of this album then, when you were talking about that?
Well, I was sort of trying to go for a sort of nostalgic, peaceful, polite wonder world. It was sort of euphoric, so almost like a fantasy. I think the album I did before was very brutal and confrontational and hardcore and very real. And this was kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Kind of completely like you're inside a bubble, daydreaming.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, I mean, not only the music, but there's a lot of much more abstract noises on it. I mean, I know I was just reading through your biography for this, and I think you've got the sound of shuffling cards on it. And well, just take us through some of the strange noises. And also, what fascinated me is how you go about kind of collecting these and who your sound collectors are.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the most exciting parts when you decide how your album's going to be. You start collecting like a library. So we had to do a lot of... Yeah, I had several programmers. Yeah, they're like technicians. And
yeah, we got the bastards here.
Yeah.
Talk to me about technicians. Go on.
Yep, and they helped me walk around with little mini discs and DAT machines. And you
just recording things for you. They go around and go, I want that little sound, and they just...
Yeah, and we just literally start off with everything like this, you know?
I bet the techno heads love that. Yeah, I've got a very interesting reverberation off this particular wood. the leather surface gives a much more dampened tone. Yeah,
it actually is that nerdy.
I love that nerdishness. Well, I don't.
It's fun.
It. Also on this album, which another thing, I mean, just reading about this, it's an album, it's an adventure, it really is. You know, you went to Greenland and you found what was it, an Inuit choir?
Yeah, I had sort of... I knew there was a choir in it for the euphoric escapist element for sure, and but then I sort of worked very hard for a very long time, and I just needed a holiday.
Yeah.
And then my instinct took me to the right place. So I went to Greenland for 3 weeks.
You went to Greenland for a break from Iceland. Wow.
No, it was excellent. It was 24-hour daylight, and the sun would never go down, and it was just all these. This was where all the icebergs come out of the glacier. So there would be like I would live in this igloo by the sea, and they would be passing by like on a motorway, like igloos. No, icebergs. Sorry, the size of cathedrals.
Did you live in an igloo yourself while you were there?
Well, I cheated a little bit because it was an aluminium one. It's like a hotel.
Ah, you cheat! I can't believe that. Luxury.
I know.
I think sometimes, you know, listening to your music over the years, there's kind of a, I don't know, and I don't mean this, you know, patronising or whatever, that there is a kind of a childlike sort of purity or even beauty to what you do. Is that, do you think you, or is that an Icelandic thing? Is this that's a sort of purity of where you're from or whatever?
I think it's probably not fair on Iceland to think all the people over there are like me.
Okay.
Because I... no,
That's big of you.
Yeah, I've always been like the odd one out.
You have always been like the odd one out?
Yeah, definitely the eccentric.
Because your friends, I know from reading research, actually think you're very sensible.
Yeah, side of me.
Which makes me worried about what they're like, I've got to tell you, in a nice way.
Yeah, I guess I'm quite conscientious, and I like working pretty hard. So in that sense, that side of me is kind of sensible.
But your work, it strikes me, I mean, I don't know you very well, but it strikes me as your work is your life anyway. The two are kind of...
The same thing, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
More than most kind of singers that I've sort of come across over the years. I mean, you seem to really live it.
Yeah, yeah. Like that sort of nerd thing of collecting sounds. And
well, I'm not calling you a nerd.
But hanging out in studios for like 16 hours a day, it's like my idea of like paradise.
Okay,
yeah.
What were you like as a child, and kind of how, in a way, do you think you stopped yourself sort of from not growing up, but how you kept that childishness?
I personally think I got both, you know. Maybe more when I'm meeting you for the first time, so I'm very shy.
Yeah.
So maybe I become quite...
But you're not that shy a person. I've read a story where you once went to school in a sheet because you couldn't be bothered to get out of bed, so you just cut a hole. No, I've read that. I've read you couldn't be bothered to get out of bed to go to school, so you just cut a hole in your bed and walk to school with it. Is that true?
Yeah.
I mean, that's brilliant.
It's when you're surrounded by people you've known for a long time. I definitely get slightly more extrovert, yeah.
OK, I'm going to carry on with this. Are you ready? I've got some quick questions. These are Bjork's quickies.
OK.
Do you know Magnus Magnusson?
Not personally.
OK. Now, I know in Iceland they've just celebrated Thorri. What happens in Thorri?
In the long winters, you would, in the autumn, you would start preparing for them. So you would start to pickle everything or put it in salt or dry it or smoke it or... So, and then you wait and you eat all the fresh things, and by February you run out of fresh things.
Right.
So you start eating all the things that have been dug in the earth after...
Like?
Yeah, for a few months.
Because I had one of the lists I got from the Icelandic embassy of things you eat at that time is actually like sheep's balls.
Sheep's balls, brains.
Wow, really hungry then. Icelanders starving and snowed in to eat anything. OK. And lastly, you said that Icelandic humour is better than British. What sums up Icelandic humour, and have you got an Icelandic joke for us?
Hvað brúnt og svífur í loftinu?
I don't know. Vad är which was awkward.
Fjärstýrð kjötbolla.
Which means...
I won't tell you.
Oh, we're not going to know. Do you know what? Those were Bjork's quickies, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed. That was lovely. Stay around. I've got an Olympic winner. OK.